It will be on Saturday, Francesca's Banquet Hall on Main Street in the Village of Ilion. Doors open at 5 p.m. for a meet and greet with the granddaughter of Babe Ruth, followed by a 6 p.m. dinner and a featured speech by the one and only Linda Ruth Tossetti, who is the granddaughter of the great Bambino. On the line right now. Linda, good morning. Thanks for coming on the radio.
Oh, my pleasure. Good morning to you.
And you've become quite the superstar, the person telling the story of your grandfather, Babe Ruth.
Well, yeah, I've been studying him since I found out who he was and that I was his granddaughter. So this has been a lifelong kind of journey.
Yeah. There's a resemblance. There's clearly a resemblance.
Does that bother you?
I know. I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I just tell me I have a better nose, please.
Yes, you do. You do. You're a pretty Babe Ruth. That's
Thank
what I'd
you.
say. There we go.
Thank you. My husband tells people, "Come on, that's my wife. I don't want to think I'm going to bed with Babe Ruth." You know.
Well, quite the home run hitter. I'm just saying. There's a lot. Bada boom. Okay, so what have you discovered? Obviously, you never met your grandfather. Is that correct?
Yeah, I missed him by 7 years. I'm the sixth child to his blood daughter Dorothy.
Okay.
The little girl on his knee, or he's kissing and hugging. That's my mother. And
what have you learned? What have you learned about Babe Ruth that surprised you?
Well, he surprises me every day. That's I could keep you on the phone with that. But, you know, I wanted to learn about the private man. I know he hit home runs, but I really wanted to know how he felt about things, about hitting the home run.
Yeah.
Which a granddaughter would want to know. Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, I've had a chance over the years to meet people that actually knew him. I've gotten a chance to get to know the actual man, which is so cool. And I'm still getting to know the real man. Like, you know, a lot of these things that said, they're blown out of proportion. You know, yes, he had women, but did he have 8 in one night because he smoked 8 cigars?
Right.
If you use your noggin, you'll know it takes longer than that to smoke a cigar. But,
true, yes.
you know, he was mostly smoking cigars that night, not anything else.
Right.
But, and so, you know, I'm trying, it's like a big jigsaw puzzle that I'm putting together.
Have you
found... And my mother's in that, too.
Right.
You know, the things about my mother's earlier life I'm learning, and it's just, you know, I didn't expect to do this, or I didn't expect to talk about him, and it just happened. And it's divine providence in there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I think that people are so curious. It's funny that I guess for me, I didn't realize that Babe Ruth, because this person is so much bigger than the human, the image is so much bigger than the human. I was surprised to find out that he passed away in 1948. I just felt like...
He's only 53 years old.
Yeah, 53 years old. And what he accomplished in those 53 years is just unbelievable.
Oh, my mother used to tell, you know, my mother used to say life didn't know him a minute. He did everything he ever wanted to do except manage. But, I mean, everything else he did. And, yeah, we lost him young. And, you know, I got to tell you, baseball... unfortunately missed a really good manager.
Yeah.
In Babe. I mean, he knew the game backwards and forwards and upside down. And when he was in Japan, he managed all 18 games. Connie Mack let him manage them. And he was brilliant.
Wow. And you think about...
Oh, go ahead.
Well, you think about people... that he played with over the years that survived, and they were able to live long. Ted Williams, for instance.
Yeah.
Boy, wouldn't it have been, you think back, and you have to do this, wouldn't it have been amazing if he lived another 20 years, a normal life? You would have gotten to know your grandfather. That would
have been true. But you know what? I think I don't feel cheated.
Yeah.
Studying him as many years as I have, yes, I would love. I'd love to give him a hug.
Yeah.
And you know, the funny thing is, fans send me, you know, like pictures and gifts in the mail, I get a lot of pictures they do with Photoshop with me hugging my grandfather.
Wow.
I don't do them, but they do them.
That's really
cool. So maybe it is a hug from Babe. Who knows, But, yeah, I wish I could have met him. Maybe, well, I will.
Yeah.
Not in this life, but I will meet him. And, but like I said, I think I know more about him because of my curiosity about the man that I didn't meet.
Has there any, what has surprised you? Any stories out there? The legend becomes so much bigger than the reality.
One thing people don't know, he was strong in his faith. And with that, he did multiple acts of kindness a day.
That's big.
Every day, he'd do something for somebody. He never said no, like to like the Knights of Columbus or any charity or any child. And I just wonder, in his short years, just what one day would be like.
Yeah.
When he went to the stadium, he was, what they say, they use the words put upon. My grandfather wouldn't have used those words. But from the time he got to that stadium and he walked down that field, he didn't have a minute to think before the game because it's talking to this one, talking to that one, talking to his fans, And for sometimes, don't you forget, we're talking about a completely different era in baseball.
Right.
My grandfather would hit a home run, and he'd have to hold on to his back because there was a kid on the end when he was running. It's just, and they would jump over the fences, and then they have to stop the game and clear everybody off the field. Different time.
Yeah. Not to mention that.
He did, acts of kindness. He's just a bigger humanitarian you won't find. And Wade Hoyt says that all the time. In fact, he told me he stopped talking to authors because they would write about stuff that wasn't true and not what he told them. Babe was a great humanitarian. He stood up for the Negro Leagues. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
He barnstormed with the Negro Leagues. All the pitches were coming out of the Negro Leagues. The guys challenged him. And it's amazing. In fact, Monty Irvin said they made $1 a day. When my grandfather barnstormed with them, they made $1,500 a month.
Wow.
And if the gate wasn't covered because of weather or something, Babe paid the gate.
Wow.
So the guys didn't lose the money.
That's really incredible. Andrew.
So I see a lot of photos and former press events that you've done some events with Ted Williams' granddaughter as kind of a joint appearance together. What have you learned, if anything, from her about your grandfather?
No, she doesn't talk about anything about my grandfather. I had a chance to have breakfast with Ted at the Hall of Fame.
Oh, really?
And he wasn't walking too well, but boy, his voice was booming.
Yeah, that had to be really cool.
I asked him, can he tell me, when he met my grandfather? Now, he admired my grandfather, and he had a great wit, believe it or not. He said, every time I did something, your grandfather was there to do it first. All I can tell you is he was the greatest. That's all I can say. He was the greatest. And he was the only one that Ted Williams asked to sign a ball ever in his career.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
And he said, and he was proud that, I don't collect baseballs, but your grandfather, I asked him to sign a ball for me. And I think Babe used to give him little pointers and stuff like that. I know he had, rolled up jeans with white socks, and he says, come on, you got to dress like a baseball player now, Ted,
Yeah, that's funny.
Because he was such a snappy dresser.
We're talking to Linda Ruth Tossetti, the granddaughter of Babe Ruth. Will be speaking on Saturday at Francesca's Banquet Hall in Ilion as a benefit for the Herkimer County Historical Society, and contact the Historical Society for ticket information. Really, really cool. And this is just such a huge part of baseball history.
The comment you just made about Ted Williams asking your grandfather to sign a ball made me wonder, what kind of crazy memorabilia do you have? I mean, I can imagine anything tied to Babe Ruth's got to be worth a ton of money. Is there anything that you've come across, an old glove, a pair of cleats, a jersey,
yes.
something like that?
Oh, no jerseys. We don't have any jerseys. Not too many of them left. You know, they used to recycle them.
Yeah.
You didn't keep your jerseys. They used to send them down to AAAs and stuff. So, you know, it's a different time again.
Yep.
You didn't get to keep your shirts. But we have a lot of autographs from the Yankees. My grandmother, her husband, worked at Yankee Stadium. So we had his hunting gloves and a deer head and, oh, gosh, many, many things. In fact, I'm finally, after taking care of it since I've been 10 years old, and, you know, the new generations don't want to collect anything. They want to be able to be fluid so they can go and do this and that.
Right, yeah.
Nobody stepped up to take care of it, so I'm sharing it with the fans.
Wow.
June 15th, 16th, and 17th at the Yankee Stadium.
That's really cool.
It's being auctioned, and then, of course, you know, the money will help the family. But, yeah, kind of sad to see it go. It's kind of like a little emotional for me because I've taken care of it for so long. But you know what? My husband's going to retire in a year, and I'm not going to live in a big house to be able to put this stuff in it.
Yeah.
And I was also afraid, you know, someone's going to hit me over the head for it, too, you know, the way
you gotta be
baseball
careful.
stuff
You're right.
is going.
It's crazy. Hey, do you? How did you feel when the curse came to an end, when Boston finally won?
Well, first of all, I never believed in a curse.
Yes, right.
I mean, early management in not Chrisley, not John Henry, sent me to a psychic, and it was all so ridiculous. They wanted me to stand on the plate. Why this person said, "I'm sorry, I sold you." My grandfather, first of all, baseball players don't throw curses. All my grandfather said was, you know, without Tris and I, you're never going to win another series.
Yeah.
That's because they were the last two to go.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this Prezee did the curse. That curse is all in the imagination of Dan Shaughnessy from the Globe.
Okay.
And I'm a little angry with him because he's putting it in kids' books.
Yeah.
You know, and curses aren't you know, that's not part of a baseball player's life because they believe they're a superstitious bunch.
Right.
You know, but I was glad it was over. And there's some people that still want to hang on to it, but I was so happy when it was finally, okay, enough with the curse.
Yes.
And then when the team, was it the Cubs? Which is the one that had the goat?
The goat.
Oh, well, no, there was some, I think it was the Cubs.
Cubs, yeah. I said, well, at least they had a goat. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I hate
As
to
a
play
mascot,
a curse on a goat.
Yeah.
But, and they broke theirs, which I was very happy. You know. But no, Babe surprises me every day, every day.
Well, I think this is going to be an awesome moment in time when people get to see you speak on Saturday. And again, tickets, you just contact the Herkimer County Historical Society for ticket information. It's this Saturday. Doors open at 5, and you're going to be there. We're really excited to have you in town.
Oh, definitely. And I do things off the cuff, too. They're not going to get a prepared speech.
Nice.
We just float to what people want to hear about. And so I'm looking forward to, I call it visiting with Babe, about Babe.
Really
and
cool.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
All right, Linda Ruth Tossetti, and it's this Saturday, and we look so forward to having you here. Thanks for taking the time this morning.
Oh, thank you very much. You're very, very welcome.
All right, safe travels, and we'll see you here this weekend.
Oh, I can't wait.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.